Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So, as you can clearly see by the screen, I've finally figured out and done some more math, and eventually I worked out how to do this. I am now currently on course for an even counter, and look how much fuel I've got left in this tank, the first tank. I still have this tank, this tank, this tank, and this tank. This was, as I suspected, far more fuel efficient than trying to establish solar orbit. And I still don't believe that I'm going to be able to land on Eve with this stage. Because with all the numbers people are giving me, and it was basically requiring me to get to 3,300. 3,300 exit velocity, which is pretty much impossible on my craft, because the final stage that would have to get us that quick is not powerful enough. So I ended up having to rethink the equations that people were giving me, and instead of, treating exit velocity as a variable, treat it more as a static, and modify the escape angle and whatever the hell the other one is, like shade angle or something. I can't remember. But the point is, yeah, I basically have to do that. And eventually I managed to figure it out. Periapsis of 56,000. It's not terrible. It wasn't the most accurate shot anyway. I mean, I started basically about here and made it 270 degrees. I was going to say 75%, either or, I suppose. But either way, the ship is not under acceleration. No, the SAS is on, okay. Well, let's, approach. Historic moments are going to happen here. How close are we? 9 minutes, okay. This is not under acceleration, damn it. 8 minutes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute, 17:15, okay. We're pretty much there. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo! And hey, what do you know? Come out right at the point where we need to burn, facing. The point we need to burn, rather, I mean. Alright, so now we just have to burn so we aren't on an escape trajectory. I've had a lot of problems lately with Krakens attacking my ship. For those of you who don't know the reference, when weird bugs occur in KSP, such as your ship just mysteriously, losing a random part or something, or just the connections between parts break and stuff, it tends to be related to what is called the Space Kraken. And sometimes the Space Kraken's babies. It's a random lore piece around the forum. But yeah, I mean, I had weird times where I actually got an even counter before, but 2 of my engines just kind of broke off. Just randomly. No idea why. Mechanical failure. Rehashed it, redid the flight. So this is actually my second take of this episode, because the first one, the second I entered Eve orbit, 2 of the engines failed, the ship became completely uncontrollable, and we missed because of that. Although I was going through it pretty high time warp, and that tends to be a factor in it. So, as we can see, our periapsis is dropping, and the time for escape is increasing. There we can see Eve down there. I really did have a lot more clearance than the moon, I think. But I can't really draw a circle with a mouse, because I'm terrible. Alright, either way. So we've got to burn off most of the speed, and the good news is we still have a pile of fuel, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to try and land using this stage, but I am most certainly liable to, once the parachute deploys, just completely disengage it because it'll become useless. And, I mean, in total, these things are very weak. As I was talking about before, and trying to get up to the escape velocity everyone required me to get to in order to get a proper encounter. Like I said, this was a less fuel-efficient encounter because I probably had to travel farther around the sun. And I don't know the exact fuel mathematics yet, but all I can say is I've learned a hell of a lot of calculus in the last 24 hours. Oh, high school math teachers, why didn't you tell me this would be useful in real life? Real life. Okay, why didn't you tell me this would be useful in video games? That's probably better. Then I would have been more than willing to take calculus. And I would squee, and I'd be joyful at taking calculus. Okay, and we should be able to see. It should be a fair-sized thing. That's not Eve, that's a galaxy. Alright, so if we're pointing that way, then I guess that way is up, yeah. So straight down. Yeah, there it is. Gotcha. Okay. Eve escape constantly increasing the amount of time, but it's going to be a long, 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 long retro burn. Like I was talking about, these engines are terrible. It takes them a ridiculous amount of time to be able to do anything, and that's part of the problem I was having, was trying to get up to the escape velocity. They aren't powerful enough. Like, they do okay here because they're working in tandem with Eve's gravity. When I was trying to escape Kerbin, it was terrible. Like, my speed would be decreasing with these engines on. It would just slow the rate at which the speed would decrease. Eventually it would start increasing again as I got really close to the, escape point, but it just wasn't enough. It would never be anywhere near enough. Like, my escape velocity, I could at best get up to 2,700. And, I think the minimum really at escape velocity is 0, but... So I had to do some more calculations, but I'm just rambling and repeating myself. We can see it's starting to arc down now. Eventually we should find... I find this kind of strange. The periapsis is a curve like this. Shouldn't that be the apoapsis in theory? Or am I just high? I don't know. It's kind of late at night. Could be either. Either way, it looks like we've got it, I think. We should easily be able to burn off the amount of speed we have with this fuel, and in a worst case scenario, to start descending straight down towards Eve. I don't know about, I think I'll probably establish an orbit, get closer, and then go in, but, because that is something I can do with this stage. People think I hate gravity turns. I don't. It's just generally my ships are incapable of them. You know what? One day, I swear to God, I'm just going to do a gravity turn and put that up as a video. And then you guys can all watch my ship tear itself apart and explode trying to do a gravity turn. Like, even a really weak one. This upper module, on the other hand, should be more than capable of sustainable orbits and gravity turns. Should have come down to that. Anyway, enough of that. Almost out of here. Down 800, we can see it continue to arc. So yeah, Kerbin was about here, and Eve was about here. And, like I said, that was the total thing. I don't really know. I don't have much else to say other than watch the arc curve. It's almost up to 2 days until Eve escape. That's always good. Well, I guess the periapsis is at its lowest because it's at the closest point to the planet there. Maybe? Heard the engines cut out for a moment and I was worried. Yeah, we're still on this fuel tank. Like, we've got a long way to go. We have another 4,600 fuel. So we're just fell below 5,000 liters. We've got plenty. The orbit's down to 660. Just gotta keep slowing ourselves. We can do it. It's starting to form, rather than a ballistic trajectory, kind of starting to form an orbit. Come on. down to 500 meters a second, almost. 550. I think probably around 400 will actually have a stable orbit. That's just my guess. Based on... and absolutely nothing. It's just a wild guess. 400 might have a semi-stable orbit at that point. We'll see. Or we'll do a friggin' massive half loop there. 30... Yeah. Come on. It speeds up as it caves. So at 400 now, not quite. Looks like 350 or so, maybe less. Well, at this point we're just arcing around. We're going to go in between it and the moon. Or its moon, Gilly. I have no idea whether or not I'm even going to come back to land on Gilly. I might. So, yeah. Flying in. Wow, we really do have to get to a low speed. I guess that's just because we're so high up. Like, we are pretty much on the edge. We would have to get to a lower speed if we were at the periapsis, but if we were at the periapsis, we'd be at a higher speed. Bop-tio lathe out there. Like I said, this is still on the plan of being a one-way mission. Hey, this tank finally emptied out. And looks like we're about to get the orbit. It's gonna connect. It's gonna connect. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. The wires are coming together. Wow, we're going slow. And the wires have connected. We have a stable orbit. Well, I don't know how stable this orbit is, to be honest. I've known sometimes around Minmus where I would have a theoretically stable orbit. Like, it would show it, but after like 30 days or so, it would just fling me off or something back into Kerbin orbit. And often onto an escape trajectory afterwards. That's how I used to have satellites randomly orbiting the sun. I never intentionally put a satellite around the sun. Alright, let's go. Need to time warp in. We're basically barely moving right now. Eve's periapsis is 94,000. I have no idea when the atmosphere begins, how dense the atmosphere is, or anything of the sort. I think there might be a point here where we might be able to even intersect the moon. Or Gilly. Alright, we are approaching a ridiculously fast speed. This is good. Have to burn it off at the periapsis, give or take. Oop. Okay, the ship's still intact. I sometimes notice when I switch heavily and quickly, the ship can just break a bit. Again, the Space Krakens. Space Krakens are evil. We're getting our first close look at Eve soon. I'm purposely kind of hiding it from view right now, because I'm evil. Oh, it's so easy when you're evil. Good old Voltaire. Alright, so we're closing in now. I think now would be a good time to begin the retro burn, because holy hell, we are moving really fast. I think bringing in my apoapsis shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty much... Yeah, okay, we're gonna get this into the atmosphere, it looks like. Like I said, I have no idea exactly when the atmosphere begins. I'm gonna say we're in the upper stages of it by 60,000, though. Most certainly we're in the atmosphere by 50. We are going to land on land, I hope. I can't see the surface. It makes it awfully hard to judge. If not, it'll be a splashdown. Let's hope it's not one of those. But I think we should be going into the atmosphere soon. So yeah, this is Eve from the dark side. Okay, so we're at 500,000. Still pretty ways out of the atmosphere at this point. 300, 200, 100. Oop. 100,000. God, we are going fast. I really hope the atmosphere can slow us down. Like, I have no idea how thick this atmosphere is. And that's really what's scaring the living... Oh, hey, wow, everything turned purple. Excuse me, I believe somebody left their ultraviolet light on. Well, at least the dark side of Eve isn't boring. Let's try and counterburn. Yeah, the atmosphere is in fact thicker than Kerbin's, as I originally guessed by how it looked. Sweet, go me. I have no idea what level of atmospheric pressure we're going to be talking about here, but... At this point, yeah, the periapsis is crashing. We're not even going to skip the atmosphere. But yeah, it looks like we're going to land on land at least. I don't think I need to counterburn, really. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're hitting land. Either that or we're landing in a sea of methane. At least I assume it's methane because it's purple. Which, you know, makes sense. But, I suppose that means I need to prepare to disengage the, non-landing stage, I should say. Since we're in pretty thick portion of the atmosphere at this point. Although I say pretty thick portion, this could be in fact a very thin portion of the atmosphere. From Eve's perspective. Because who knows, this could be like 3 atmospheres thick by the ground. I can't tell. Okay, come on, I've got to fight it and got to put my nose as close to that as I possibly can. Prepare for release in 3, 2, 1... Release. We are free. Now we turn ourselves around. For no apparent reason. Anyway. Oh god, please tell me we're not going to collide with that. Oh, crikey. Ass up. Come on. Wind resistance should be kicking in. That should be moving slower than us, not faster. Unless I deploy the parachute right now. If I deploy the parachute, though, I'm just going to smack right into that. And I have no idea how high I am off the ground, because I'm on the dark side, so I've got no shadow. Like, I could be hitting a mountain range any moment now. And I've got to just debate whether or not to pull the chute. Which risks me smashing into that. Damn. 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 Okay, we're at 1 atmosphere pressure. 10,000 meters. We're not quite at the ground yet, I can tell based on the horizon. I want to try and get as far away from that as I can. Okay, I am deploying the chute. Oh, wait. Why did I think that deploying the chute would make that whack into me? Okay, I may just be mentally retarded. But either way, it looks like a safe landing. I should be able to tell how far away the ground is based on, you know, when that explodes. And, you know, take that away from my height thing. So it's 200 meters ahead of me. So, no ground for the next 200 meters. If I hear a splash, then I know I'm in trouble. I'm not really in trouble, but it's going to be awkward for everyone, that's for sure. You know what? Someone asked me to do this. And that was hold an EVA. Oh, Christ. Oof. Well, he's dead. Okay. Somebody asked me to hold an EVA while I was re-entering the atmosphere. The answer is that's what happens. I did not know that. I just figured I'd try that now. Looks like we're landing on a flat plane almost. Sweet. Well, sucks to be him. I think he's dead. Yeah, the ground's at about 400 meters. Or so. I think he's already dead. He is quite dead. So, whoever wanted to see an EVA during re-entry, you got it. Turns out they don't actually hold on as well as you'd hope. So, we are going to hit ground soon, right? Oh god, if that reaches that, that's what worries me. Because that means we are over an ocean. Crap. Alright, splashdown it is. Who wants to go swimming in a sea of methane? That's the problem with landing on the dark side. But I didn't really have too much control over that. Like I said, I couldn't even identify if this was water or not. Ugh. The purplish tinge is nice. Well, nothing to do but wait until that number hits 0 then. Sweet. Nevertheless, I pulled it off. I've got people on Eve. I've got a corpse on Eve so far. Celebratory swig of coffee. Suppose we might as well extend the ladder. Where is that? Can I click on that yet? There we go. Extend. I suppose we have no reason not to extend the ladder. Something for the swimming Kerbals to grab onto. Come on. 80 meters. But yeah, sadly we're over the ocean. 40 meters. 30. 20. 10. Splash. We're floating. Wow, I didn't even realize we'd hit the ocean. Like, honestly, I think we're just, like, I seriously think we're just, like, floating in midair. Okay. Yeah, we're in water of some sort. Well, we can swim. Well, it's not really what I'd hoped. I was kinda aiming for the land, but I guess nothing ever really does go as planned. You can get back, right? Yeah, grab on. Climb up to the top of the ship. Oh, dumbass. I'm trying to activate the boosters, but I can't. Every time I press R, he doesn't do anything. I think I need to be standing on, like, actual land or something. Oh god, is he dead? Okay, phew. I thought he was dead for a moment there. Okay, so we aren't getting anywhere, but this is really quite cool. I would think that due to the purple nature of this, it's like a sea of methane, but it behaves just like water, so thus it is definitely not methane. Eesh. Come on. Yeah. Kerbals are terrible swimmers. But yeah, I have no idea how I'm supposed to... I wanted to see if the gravity here is too much for the jetpack. No nearby object to focus. Probably because all the other objects have been destroyed. Nevertheless, though, we successfully landed on Eve. I am pleased with the results of this. It only took me 4 episodes. So we still got Moho to land on. Does Moho have any moons? No, it does not. Alright. Shouldn't be too hard then. I suppose the same physics apply. We got Duna and Jewel. Might try Jewel next, or Duna. We've already gone, one in. Let's go one out. Then we go to Moho, and then we go to Jewel, I guess. I don't know. We'll work something out. Either way, first Kerbin's on Eve, sitting in the middle of the damn ocean. It's a living. Sadly, as I said, one-way missions currently. I do not have the technology to perform two-way missions. They are currently beyond my capacity of being an engineer. Although, the fact that I've learned how to do this whole orbital slingshot thing, I don't know, without establishing a solar orbit. Is a great fuel saver, and I might be able to calculate that in. It's still slightly above me. In the coming days, we will see if I can pull off two-way missions. I feel like a two-way mission would be easiest to Duna, as opposed to Eve. I feel like Eve was just, slightly harder than Duna, for some reason, because it seems like going in is trickier. Like I said, though, I don't know the exact equations yet. I just know how to manipulate the numbers and, follow basic mathematical laws to keep an equation true. Yeah, I guess that's the end of the episode. If anyone has a set of numbers that I can work with for Duna, because that'll probably be the next target, that would be great. Like I said, orbit, even if you just tell me to do it from orbit, that's fine. I've gotten much better at it, and I should be able to manipulate any set of numbers properly. If you can give me one that I do from a standing launch, that'd be great. But that's probably not possible. And don't try and not give me any ones with escape velocities over 2,400, because that's really hard to do and costs me far too much fuel. So we got 2 Kerbins. Well, we had a third one, and, he was the first one on the planet, technically. If anyone asks, he died in complications. But yeah, until next time, I suppose, this is Galvin signing off.